Hello, this is Kikoto Mani from Team Get Wreck Robotics, as well as a member of Team WPI, and this is my event report for how Serial Killer did at Mass Destruction Resurgence on December 2nd in Waltham, Massachusetts. Now before I get into the fights, I really want to take some time to talk about this version of Serial Killer. There have been a couple versions of Serial Killer, each one being slightly better than the last, but for this event, I really wanted to see just how competitive I could make Serial Killer, while still making it fun and interesting to watch, and keeping the same charm that makes it so loved among the fans. Something you may notice immediately about this redesign is how similar the main body is to the latest version of my Beetleweight Kill with Fire. This was done for two main reasons. One, I was very happy with the design choices I made for Kill with Fire. Not only was this version good at controlling other bots, but the robot proved itself to be very durable, capable of taking large shots on spinners and surviving with very little damage. Because of this, I realized that if I was going to redesign Serial Killer, I'd probably end up making it similar to Kill with Fire. And at that point, why not just use the exact same body as Kill with Fire anyways? This leads into my second reason for doing this, and that's spares. Aside from the weapon arms, Serial Killer and Kill with Fire are almost identical and use all the same parts and electronics. This meant that rather than making another spare set of parts for Serial Killer, I could just reuse the many spares I already had from Kill with Fire. But now we need to talk about the one main difference, and that's the weapon. Serial Killer has always used cereal boxes to capture his opponents. However, this time I want to do something a little bit more than just cardboard. This time the grabbing box has an extra layer of TPU behind the regular cardboard to make the weapon more durable and make it harder for opponents to escape when captured. I wasn't entirely sure how it would work out, but I knew it would at least be better than just cardboard by itself. Now that we've talked about this version of Serial Killer, I think it's time to start talking about how it did the event. Before we get into any specific fights, I think it's important to clarify how Mass Destruction worked as a competition. It would be using a format similar to the Fight Night format used on BattleBots. Every bot would get free qualifying fights, and the 16 bots that performed the best would move on to a single elimination tournament and fight until only one bot remained as the winner. With all that out of the way, let's finally get into Serial Killer's first fight of the event. Serial Killer's first fight would be against Hat-Trick, a powerful horizontal spinner. This match would be interesting as the builder of Hat-Trick, Andrew, is also part of the WPI Combat Robotics Club with me, and we're really good friends. Andrew has built a pretty destructive horizontal spinner in Hat-Trick, but fortunately I had my titanium anti-horizontal spinner wedge ready to hopefully take the hits and deflect his energy back into him. Who will win this WPI versus WPI fight? Let's find out now.
Ready. Audience, are you ready? Let's get this fight on the on the road in 3, 2.
Go, Andrew, go!
Yeah!
He's been
That's trapped. Andrew, what's your weapon?
Right here.
Take the weapon, you got it!
Yeah! Yeah! Good pick! Good grab! Yeah, tap him!
He's getting a little rough snaps.
Whoa!
Whoa! Yo, ankle grind him! Yeah! Go! Oh, did you suck it in?
Oh,
I think he sucked it in.
He sucked in cereal box. He sucked in cereal box.
I ate the cereal box.
Knock him off, Oh! I think he sucked like the serial killer box into his weapon.
No, he's good. His weapon's free.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Yeah! Oh, is he driving?
Got it.
Woo!
Oh! No, sir! No! Andrew's a monster!
Andrew's the villain here. There's nothing you can do about it.
He's a drive side down, yeah. Oh!
Woo! Oh, yo!
Andrew, don't pass.
Come on, Andrew, come on! You can do it! Crab walk!
Crab walking horizontal, let's go!
Oh, so close. Oh!
We might see a win with that here already.
Oh, you're so close, Andrew. You're so close.
Oh god, that's so close to the
Oh, it's brutal. Brutal. Oh, that's you. That's your smoke, Andrew.
That's my motor.
No, not the weapon motor. Not again.
Wait, was that the weapon?
That's his weapon motor. Dude, you need to really get a different weapon motor.
Andrew, what are you running?
Not big enough.
I knew what, but I need to go bigger.
Oh, you run the stupid spaceship.
All right, audience. That's been a fantastic first 2 minutes. We're going to take a quick break here to see if we can't get these robots separated. We are not going to be writing Serial Killer. We're just going to try to keep the fight. David, it's not happening? All right. Our extremely talented safety marshal has determined that it is not safe to disentangle these robots. So I think we are going to send this to the judges. They are incredibly stuck together. Yeah. Well, we can also ask the audience. So, audience, I'm a little rusty after having not judged fighting robots for 5 years. I'd like to hear your opinions on that fight. And I want you to cheer as loud as you can for the robot you thought was the winner. Who thought Serial Killer was the winner? Who thought Hat Trick was the winner? All right, that is a really narrow margin, but I'm going to call your winner here for this very first mass destruction fight in 5 years, Hat Trick.
Now that was an awesome first fight. I'm happy to say that the wedge on Serial Killer was able to do what it was meant to and allowed Serial Killer to absorb the hits from Hat Trick, which gave it several opportunities to get underneath Hat Trick and control with the cereal box. At one point, Hat Trick got stuck on a piece of cardboard, and even though I could have left him to get counted out, I decided to free him. I did this both because Andrew is my friend and because I really wanted to keep the fight going for the audience and put on an entertaining match for them to enjoy. Everything seemed to be going perfectly for Serial Killer until one hit caused Hat Trick to deflect upwards, hitting the arm and breaking it. Another set of hits put Serial Killer upside down, and with the weapon broken, I can't self-right. Despite this, I don't tap out and allow Hat Trick to hit me some more in the hopes that he could self-right Serial Killer and keep the fight going. Instead, what happens is one of the TPU side forks on Serial Killer gets sucked right into Hat Trick's weapon. They try to unstick the bots, but they can't do it, and so the fight goes to the judges, and Hat Trick takes the decision and wins the fight. Also, I want to reiterate that Hat Trick and Serial Killer were really stuck together. So much so that I just decided to take off the TPU side fork and just let Andrew deal with getting it untangled from the rest of his bot. Fortunately, he was able to do so and continue his run into competition with little issues. Also, later Andrew showed me that I actually managed to take out one of his drive belts, which I didn't notice until rewatching the fight because he was doing such a good job of crab walking and showing controlled motion. Now it's time to get Serial Killer repaired for his next fight. As mentioned before, I purposely gave Serial Killer the same design as Kill with Fire so that I could reuse its parts as spares, which really came in handy here. I simply used one of Kill with Fire's side pieces to replace the one that got sucked into Hat Trick. As for fixing the weapon, I simply took one of Kill with Fire's TPU weapon arms and attached it to the TPU box by melting them and some extra TPU together, so I was essentially welding with TPU, and it worked out great. Literally all the electronics in Serial Killer were fine, so all I needed to do was just tape on some more cereal boxes, put in a new charged battery, and Serial Killer would be good to go. Serial Killer's second qualifying fight would be against Nick Buchholz and his bot, Phantom 3. Phantom 2 was one of the most dangerous overhead bar spinners ever built in the Beetleweight class, and Phantom 3 was said to be an improvement in every way. Just like before, I would be using my massive anti-horizontal spinner wedge and just hoping that I could control Phantom 3 and take minimal damage. With that out of the way, let's see how Serial Killer does against its second powerful horizontal spinner in a row.
That's a little bit bad. I forgot to play pass across the box, and it looks like Phantom 3 has something left in his weapon. Yeah. There's a screw sticking out of my top. Fantastic.
Alright, you gotta.
Nick says there's a screw sticking out of his top plate that he didn't secure down all the way.
Get away.
When people say fights are won and lost in the pits, this is what they mean.
Alright, full separation. Let's see if we can't get some snap there from Phantom 3. Here's the last snagging. I'm not sure that this is the way that I was expecting our fight. Fantastic grab in front of there from Serial Killer. Serial Killer has also put himself over now. Phantom 3 going to try to start playing the ground game. Serial Killer is somehow driving it on hot. I think still trying to put that out. Serial Killer continuing to do lots of great work on weapon land. Snap the Serial box. Snap the Serial box. I would like to find out another one. Not the epitome of robot fighting. So we're seeing lots of fucking control halfway through the fight. It's too much. It's like Phantom 3 is stuck against the wall.
Stuck on its own hinged courts.
We got a real one. We got two goals in the ring on Phantom 3.
Alright, back off.
On the other side, Phantom 3 not really too hot right now. Those courts are getting stuck on the ground. Can't try to watch forward. Can't try to watch back. He's going around in a circle, so we're not going to count out that. The aggressive circles counting continues. Looks like he has to get a little broadside of Phantom 3 on the next minute to get that knock.
I think I'm a little bit stuck. Yeah, I'm definitely stuck on the wall a little bit. Yeah, we might need an unstick. Fred, pause it. Alright, everyone stop. Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna pause. You guys wanna listen to
Transmitters down, please. Everyone's transmitters.
Cage manager David Jin is going in with the broom of truth. This is actually just a broom from my garage. He's unfortunately very far away. We need a slightly longer broom. All right, we're gonna hope that that's enough of an unstick, but I'm not sure it's gonna change much of the match. I'm gonna go ahead and resume this in 3, 2, 1. Resume. 37 seconds here. Some angry spinning happening from Phantom 3, but not a whole lot of weapon movement. These robots are unstuck from each other. Phantom 3 not showing a whole lot of drive and just a little bit of weapon, but that cereal box is not going to let him have it. We're getting single spins here on the weapon from Phantom 3, but it can go back and forth, but it's not doing a full rotation with 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the end of this fight, and your winner by judge's decision and doing anything is Serial Killer.
And just like that, Serial Killer gets its first win of the event. However, I think it's fair to say that Phantom 3 wasn't exactly at its best. If you're wondering why the spinner on Phantom 3 didn't work, here's what happened. Apparently, when he was putting on the top plate, Nick mistakenly left a screw sticking up. This screw got in the way of Phantom 3's weapon, which is why it could never spin up. Because of that, Phantom 3 had no way of fighting back, and I could just control him throughout the entire match to get the win. Also, it turns out that one of Phantom 3's drive motors burnt out, and Nick was kind of giving me this burnt out drive motor as a trophy, which I really appreciated. Serial Killer didn't take any damage during that fight, so it would be 100% ready to go into its third and final qualifying fight at 1-1. That fight would be against a powerful vertical spinner named Turbo. What makes this fight special is that, like with Hat Trick, Turbo is another bot built by a fellow WPI club member named Connor, who's another one of my close friends. For this fight, I would be switching to my S7 tool steel forks. These forks are usually very good at counting vertical spinners, but for the strategy to work, I would have to make sure to keep the point towards Turbo at all times and avoid any major driving mistakes. Let's see if Serial Killer can defeat his most destructive opponent yet.
1. Fight, robots, fight! Turbo's going to spin up that vertical spinner, and he's going to try to take that cereal box to the cleaners. Very fast, very aggressive driving, getting all the right angles, not going through the middle. All of a sudden, Serial Killer is doing what he needs to do. He's completely glomped onto Turbo. All right, Serial Killer, you're going to have to let him go. There we go. Fantastic smothering, though. Turbo's still looking for that angles. He doesn't want to get stuck in the cereal box again. Nobody wants to get stuck in the cereal box. He's not a prize or a toy that you get with your Lucky Charms. Serial Killer's taken a couple of pops, but nothing too devastating. And we've got another glomp from Serial Killer. Nice big hit there from Turbo. Serial Killer thought that he could spin him all the way into the wall, but it didn't quite work out, and Turbo got the better of that exchange. Serial Killer does a fantastic smother there and runs him right into the wall. Unfortunately, it's got the weapon pointed the wrong way, and that weapon went right into Serial Killer, and he's doing another hit. Serial Killer starting to show some wear in this fight. Turbo keeps doing these big, long sweeps. Fantastic one right there. Looks like that was not actually a cereal box. We can't see what's happening. Turbo doesn't want to turn on his weapon if he thinks it's going to get stuck. Looks like Serial Killer is limping and maybe down to one wheel. Turbo's going to take out the box just for the fun of it. And all of a sudden, this has become very dominating for Turbo. Two big hits from the side. Not what Serial Killer wants at all. But it doesn't work out because Turbo is now stuck against the wall. 1 minute left in this fight. Serial Killer, can you get Turbo out from there?
Try to get him out. Get him out if you can.
And his forks are free. 30 seconds. Is the weapon on Turbo still up, or has he lost it? Is it jammed up with plastic? He's trying to inspect it right now. But it looks like the drive and the weapon of Serial Killer are still going. They're going to keep smothering him as much as he can. Serial Killer is using that fork to lock the weapon on Turbo. He can't hurt him there. 10 seconds left. Can Turbo pull out and get the weapon back up to speed? Or is this going to end up like Rocky with both competitors hugging it out? 2, 1. That's the fight.
3 hard calls in a row. What do we think?
All right, audience. We've had 3 very close matches in a row. What a surprise. I prefer to see knockouts personally. Judging is very difficult. But in this case, your judging commission has decided to go for the robot we felt controlled the flow of the fight more, and that was Turbo.
Now that was an awesome fight. I was very curious to see how Serial Killer could do against such a meta 4-wheel drive powerful vertical spinner. I'm happy to say it exceeded my expectations. The bot was able to demonstrate several moments of control over Turbo, and even when Serial Killer did get hit, it took pretty much no damage aside from cereal boxes going flying. At one point, Turbo gets his fork stuck in the wall, but similarly to Hat Trick, I choose to free him since it's such a fun fight and I want to keep it going. However, after Turbo does get free, its weapon goes down. I talked to Connor after the fight and he told me he thinks a piece of the cereal boxes got stuck in the weapon system, which is why it went down. Eventually the fight ends, and Turbo ends up winning the judge decision. Overall, this is a really fun fight that showcased the new Serial Killer's durability, as well as the ability to control deadly vertical spinners, which is exactly what I designed it for. And that marks the end of the qualifying rounds. I'm happy to say that despite going 1 and 2 during the qualifiers, Serial Killer still performed well enough to make it into the top 16 single elimination tournament bracket as the number 9th seed. Its first fight in the bracket would be against Prince, a Deep Six style bot with a very large vertical spinning blade. Again, Serial Killer took no real damage from the Turbo fight, so all I had to do was duct tape on some more cereal boxes, add some giant googly eyes, and the bot was ready to go. With all that out of the way, let's get into the fight.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight. Prince is coming up to speed. He's going straight for the eyes or straight for the neck. I don't even know. The head on Serial Killer is wobbling all over the place. Prince is now stuck on the side. But Serial Killer's going in straight for the big hug. Look at him. He's just eating that robot. All right, guys, are you stuck? Yeah, we do. They're very stuck. We need it unstuck. All right, bring it to the wall. All right, we're going to put a quick pause on that match. Seems like there was a little too much feed and speed, and the weapon of Prince got stuck in one of the speed holes of Serial Killer. There's no way these two robots are going to get separated from each other, so we're just going to go in with a little bit of manual action to try to get them clear. We reserve the right to be as violent when dislodging robots from each other as we possibly can. All right, we've gotten these two robots popped apart. We're going to leave them exactly where they are, and we are going to resume the fight in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resume. I swear, if they get stuck again, I'm going to be furious. Prince is in a very uncomfortable place for Serial, but I heard some very angry whining coming from some motor. I'm wondering if that's the weapon motor on Prince, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of weapon movement. That weapon is coming back up on Prince. That's not what Serial Killer wants to see. But he's going to do his best to stop it. 1 minute into this fight, and I have not seen anything terrible happen to Googly Eyes yet. For all the power and unpredictability and lack of control of Prince, the Serial Killer is doing an incredible job of smothering him to death and keeping that weapon from getting up to speed, but he might not have gotten it this time. And finally, we have vivisected the googly eye.
No, there's the other one.
All right. Unstick.
David. Unstick.
Oh, no.
Nope, we're good.
We're back in the action. These robots figured it out. Prince is trying to rally on driving, but he's got 1 minute to do that in a control fight that has been dominated by the Serial Killer. All right, Prince, you got to release the pen. Prince's weapon just isn't there, but here comes the cereal box of shame in order to make... Oh, patented headbang. Couldn't go anywhere without that. I'm astounded with this technique. 30 seconds left in this fight. Vulnerable position there for Serial Killer, but he wasn't going to let it happen.
That's somebody's belt fully doing a sad.
And it would appear as though the belt has been sniped off of Prince in the last 10 seconds. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. This is going to the judges. And your winner is Serial Killer.
And just like that, Serial Killer gets an impressive win. Overall, the fight went about as perfectly as I could have hoped. I think Prince may have been having some spin-up issues, but even when they did get spun up, they just couldn't do any real damage to Serial Killer. Because of this, I had no issues just controlling Prince for the majority of the fight. I'm honestly not sure how, but within the last few seconds of the fight, Serial Killer was even able to take off Prince's weapon belt, which completely disabled the spinner and just about guaranteed the win for me. Prince put up a good fight, but in this match, Serial Killer proved just how good of a spinner killer it can be, and with this win, it moves on to the quarterfinals. Serial Killer's next fight would be against the powerful horizontal spinner of WormHole. There really isn't a strategy for this fight aside from just putting back on the titanium wedge and full sending it. Let's see if Serial Killer has what it takes to pull off another successful fight.
2, 1. Fight, robots, fight. WormHole is getting all the way up to speed. And he's decapitated Serial Killer in the first hit. No questions about it. Serial Killer still has a giant wedge and 2 wheels on the bottom. He can also still bully people into whatever is left of his Cyclops head. We might as well call him Ulysses, though. He's going to be taking that one back to Greece. WormHole getting stuck on the wall, but then getting unstuck. A little bit of hesitancy in the weapon, but we've got a lot of hesitancy in the drive of Serial Killer. WormHole going very aggressive for this late in the tournament. Serial Killer trying to get a good position in the middle that's defensible so that he can keep knocking WormHole around and hopefully disable that weapon, which he might have just done. We are through 1 minute in this fight, and both of these robots they've been pretty eviscerated. We've lost the weapon from WormHole. We've lost half the drive in the head of Serial Killer. But they're just going to keep going. Anything can happen in the next minute and a half, right? WormHole still has his very powerful drive. He is now pretending to be a wedge, which is weird. He doesn't have a single wedgie feature on his robot. I don't even know how you got there. He's trying to reassemble Serial Killer, but he's doing it all wrong. Serial Killer is out of his good defensive position and now stuck in the corner. His options are limited, but WormHole still has full drive control of everything that's happening. He just wishes that he had control of his weapon, too. Serial Killer breaks away in just a split second right there. 1 minute left in this fight. WormHole is jockeying for position. Serial Killer doesn't want to let him have it. I don't really know what they need position for. It'll be strategic, though, right? WormHole's gotten around the back instead of the armored front. He's done a little bit of a flippy. Nice pin there from Serial Killer, first one in the match. But in the last 10 seconds, is that really going to help him with the judges? He's going to have to release that, if he can. And that is the match. Your winner by judges' decision, it's the Deadly Decapitator, WormHole.
And unfortunately, Serial Killer's run comes to an end. I think it goes without saying that getting immediately decapitated really made it hard to win the fight. It would seem what happened is that the wedge deflected WormHole's blade up into the neck of Serial Killer, ripping off the entire head. Without my weapon, the only thing I could try to do was use my wedge to hopefully break his weapon and make us even in terms of damage. I was able to do this and disable his spinner, but unfortunately, I just couldn't capitalize due to one side of my drive having intermittent issues. I'm not entirely sure why my drive was being weird in this fight. It might have been an issue with the ESC, but regardless of the reason, that side of drive not working really hurt my ability to control the fight, and WormHole was able to end up taking the decision. With that loss, Serial Killer is eliminated from the competition and finishes in the top 8. However, Serial Killer would still have one more fight. Specifically, I thought it'd be fun to have a grudge match against free plastic Antweights. I knew I wouldn't be able to reattach the cereal box in a short period of time, so instead I decided to just tape on a spoon and go with it. Let's see how this fun exhibition fight goes.
3 minutes on the clock. Audience, on the clock. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh God! Sorry.
That's a big Antweight.
He's eating it. Oh no, he's dying. Oh, I got it. Get it.
So you don't want to push it, you don't want to be spinning.
Oh, I lost my nice.
I'm definitely on the issues again.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the issues. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. I'm turning off and back on again.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Single color has been knocked out. Your winner.
Well, Serial Killer just lost to a bunch of Antweights, but hey, at least it was funny. Long story short, the reason Serial Killer stopped working was because one of the wires that connects the ESC to the battery just came off. I guess the solder just melted or something. I don't know what happened. But yeah, Serial Killer basically got unplugged, and that was it. Good job to people driving the Antweights. They absolutely earned that incredibly funny win. And that marks the end of this event report. This was without question Serial Killer's best performance to date, as not only did the bot manage to finish in the top 8, but the bot didn't get KO'd in any of its 5 main competition fights, not counting the Grudge match, of course. Throughout the competition, Serial Killer was able to be an effective and very durable control bot, and I feel as though the bot has so much potential. But as always, winning is never the main goal of Serial Killer. I built Serial Killer to put on entertaining fights, and win or lose, it was able to do that. The audience at the event seemed to really love Serial Killer, and that always means so much to me. Serial Killer is definitely one of my favorite bots, which is why I fully intend on competing with it again sometime in the future. This has been my longest video of the year. I put a lot of effort into it, and thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.